on this computer. Yay, okay. Hi, everyone. For anyone who technical difficulties. This is a golden thing. It's always good. So let me go back to screen share. There we go. All right. So if you didn't watch the first two videos, everybody, it's all good. We're back at it. Yeah. And if you're here, it looks like we've got 95% of the class. So again, did I mention thank you for coming out? That's amazing. And so what we're going to do is let's go through what we need to get through. This is our lesson plan. Okay. You're going to find a lesson plan in each of the courses. At the end of the day, use this as reference. I'm going to use this basic reference. Okay. But really, I mean, promise we will make sure that we cover this off. Okay. They're like very strong, not strong. What's not the word I'm looking for? Some great information on this, right? And if you want to read through this, the things that we're going to be covering off in the coming weeks, okay? A lot of the stuff we've already done, as mentioned. Some of the info might need just a bit of updating. I like this the way it is. Again, given the way this semester kind of broke down, you may find some things aren't quite as, maybe what I mean by that is maybe got a little missed, just given, the pressures and, just to get things up for you guys. So please bear with me. I do apologize if there's something that you're finding like you're like, dude, this is not jiving. Just shoot me an email. Let me know. That'd be awesome, right? And if there's any, again, you guys know if there's anything you need, let me know, right? I will fix it. I'll send out a mass email or hit you up on Facebook and say, guys, check this out. I made a correction or there was a mistake here and I do apologize, etc. So my internet connection is unstable. I'm hoping you guys can hear me okay. This is just absolutely amazing, as mentioned. So this is where we want to be, everyone. Okay. As mentioned, some general information here is really great. This is Dan's write-up, of course. It is Dan's course, as you guys are maybe aware of. And I mentioned that previous. So I will do my damnedest to deliver it as effectively as I possibly can. How's that? Sound good? So if you guys can just be here, and if you can't be here, then hopefully we're just going to watch these videos, follow along. You guys notice the exercises here, not a whole, like I say, there's really not a whole lot here, right? In comparison to, as mentioned, the CAB class where we had like 25 assignments because we'd have an in-class plus, right? So that being said, it is a condensed semester. We've only got 6 weeks, guys, okay? So no stress at all, but just keep in mind, stay on top of these if we could. Being here is the #1 thing because you can do it with me. We'll get 90% of the work, not 90, I would say 70% of the work will be completed even together. And then the other 30% is going to be on you, right? Of course. Meaning, sorry, once we get into this stuff, it's going to be more, right? Your creative input, of course. And it's your creative input on all, anyway, you know what I mean. What I'm getting at is you will be successful if you watch the videos and if you can be here is what I'm getting at. Just like the other 2 classes that we've had. If you were there, you'll do well is what I mean. Okay, sound good? So that's the intro to our, to the overview. We looked at some of these, the navigation. We're gonna look at all of this stuff. A lot, as mentioned, there's gonna be some review. If you will check out, yeah, this is fun. As mentioned, we'll get through all this stuff. And a lot of this, as you guys know, is cross, right, from Photoshop to Illustrator to, right, to InDesign, right? So all of these things, again, that we do in Illustrator, not all, but most are universal across the platforms, right? All the programs. So look at that. The richest person in the world, Jeff Bezos, $137 billion. That's crazy. Oh my goodness, that's crazy, right? So guys, if there's one thing, I mentioned last semester, grit. Remember that? I think I showed you guys that video of grit. I love that video. Another amazing thing that we need to look at is the focus, right? And if anything and any time the focus is needed, it's gonna be this semester, right? Because again, having to listen to me and at least, I hate not being up in front of a class with you guys. That connection's just not, you know, it's what it is though. We're getting through, we'll get through. But that is such a big part of, you know, the experience. At the end of the day, it doesn't hinder. I know we talked in our Zooms before we led into this, we talked about, you know, whether this was as, what's the word, as beneficial or as you know, fearing that this may impact you guys in a negative way is what I'm getting at, meaning, you know, for job prospects. And I mentioned then, and I'll mention it again, I think this is the exact opposite of being a negative. I really feel like this experience, everyone, is fantastic for you. And you guys are like, you are on the crazy stuff right now. I know. What I mean by that is, right, sorry, let me just kind of get my face in here a little bit. The world is so technical now. It's so based on technology. Don't get me wrong, that face-to-face and shaking a hand is so absolutely integral to professional and to business. But being able to have this as a skill set on your resume, I completed 2 semesters of fully online Zoom, you know, classes. Looks amazing because your employer knows that you are time management capable. You're able to work on your own at home with a client without issue, right? They know that you were able to complete these tasks on time, well, and that's huge, right? I have clients I've never met before, right? That's the nature of the business. It's not optimal. My big thing is face-to-face, and yeah, you want to shake a hand and take Nana out to Williams, of course. But at the end of the day, this experience that you're going through, although challenging, and yeah, it's going to test us for sure, right? That's the way it is so good. And again, you guys are like, you're on crack. I know, maybe. But that being said, everyone, I'm an eternal optimist, I think. And I promise I would say that I would, this again, even though it doesn't feel as though, anyway, did I mention I think it's good? Yes, it's good. All right, so that's our lesson plan for this week, everyone. And then what do we got? Demo. All right, you ready? This is what we're doing. We ready to rock? Let's get into it. So we need to download this demo. So just take a step back. If you're doing the modules, I was just using that right arrow click to go through the stuff to make sure I didn't miss anything. The demo template is here and it's called out, let's do this together. Pretty straightforward, right? So if you click on that, let's go in and just download this and get started. So I'm gonna save file. Right, and then I'm just gonna go in. Yeah, and they're just, everyone's reminding us, hey, by the way, you might wanna activate your course. So everyone, we're gonna go into our documents, right? Or you're gonna go into your, in my case, I'm gonna go into my vector design fundamentals folder, right? Yes, it used to be CorelDRAW. Oh my God, you guys are lucky, eh? They changed it to Illustrator not too long ago, actually. Sorry, I'm gonna create a new folder. I'm just gonna call this out as summer semester 2020. I'm gonna start my brand new folder, right? And I'm just gonna drag this over here. And I'm gonna put it right here. You guys know we did this in CAD class. You guys can drag and drop your, you know, your vector design fundamentals folder. Just keep it in your left, right here. And then we can go ahead and we can start building this out. Now, I'm gonna create a new folder in here, everyone. We're following along. I'm hoping I'm not cutting out too much. I apologize if I am. I'm gonna try to go fairly slow through this. This is not new to any of us. We've done this many times. In this case, what I'm gonna do, and I know we looked at week 1, 2, 3, 4, and in CAD class, I think we set this up. So you may already have this done, I'm hoping. I'm just going to start here with an assignments folder, right? You may have, again, already folders set up and you can just change it to a VDF or a vector, right? Vector class or whatever you want to have it called out as, okay? As mentioned, if you want to unmute and just shout at me, please, if you're lost or if you're like, dude, take a step back, don't hesitate, let me know, okay? This is just basically getting set up. We've grabbed our JPEG. As mentioned, I will check the chat maybe after I get throughout. If we're talking about anything unrelated to the course, then it's not a big deal. But anything related to the course, please like give me a shout out, okay? Because I don't want to move too fast.
Sure.
Yes.
I didn't want to interrupt, but I thought it might be a good idea before your computer, when you're quickly losing battery power, you might want to plug it in.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I'm at 21%, and I got my power cord right here. Thanks, Beth.
Not a problem.
All right, guys. So we've got demo 1 JPEG, and I'll just put that over here into my assignments folder. Okay. Let's create a new folder. Guys, file management is so absolutely important. Every job you're going to have is going to have a different type of file structure, right? At Adidas, what we had was docket number, right? Customer number. So you'd have a customer number, then you'd have a docket number for the job, and then within each docket number, you'd have work orders for each individual jersey, right? Because we'd have customer is, say, source for sports. Then you'd have a docket, basically 17678. Within 17678, you've got work order 11 for youth jerseys. Then you've got a work order for women's jerseys. Then you've got a work order for men's jerseys. Guys, this is pretty typical for where you're going to work. I would imagine any places I've ever worked, there's always a number associated with your file, right? So this is great general knowledge, right? And so that being said, we don't obviously do it that way when we're dealing with you guys in this manner. But I mean, in assignments, I'm going to call this out. That's kind of one of those just general FYI, right? Typically things are based on numbers, and it's the best way to maintain and track orders, right? Anyway, you guys are like, yeah, can we just get on with it? So we're going to call this, right, Inclass exercise maybe 1. So I just created a folder. Probably should have done that first, right? And there we go. Inclass exercise 1. Beautiful. Now, you're going to do this in Photoshop class, I'm pretty sure, and I think I mentioned this before. You may want to put in an originals or original supporting info or files, right? Okay, so we created a new folder there. We may want to create a new folder. You can have one called working, right? For now, though, let's go in, and I'm just going to call this out as final, final 1, final 2, final 3, final 4. So we have our final folder, right? Or to client, or whatever you want to call that out as, right? I'm going to just throw my demo 1 here into my originals folder, right? And there we go. We basically have our originals folder here, right? We've got our demo. We can also throw our first Illustrator file in here, okay? And then typically for your final, you're going to have your screenshot along with your PDF and maybe also an AI file, right? Depending on what you're going to be sending to your customer, right? Maybe a PD or a PNG for web-based, AI, EPS, you name it, right? A nice catalog of different file types for them. For this course, and for the sake of what we're doing right now, we've got our demo and we're ready to rock. And you're like, dude, can we just get into Illustrator by now? Yeah, we're good. Let's get in. So we're going to create new. Everyone good? Sorry. So if you haven't launched Illustrator, I'll give everyone just a minute to do that. And let's go in. You need to upload an AI file. So have a look. For this one, it's just... Sorry, Carrie?
I think somebody's having a difficulty downloading the file that is needed for the class.
Oh, no. That's no good. Anybody else having issue? Oh, awesome. Ahmed, you got it okay? Everyone good? You just clicked on the name, right? It should go in your downloads folder. right there, right? And then you can drag and drop. Awesome, good stuff. So we're back at it. Anybody else? We're good? Everyone got the JPEG okay? Awesome. Thanks, Carrie. Do, 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 do. All right. So as mentioned, I'll just go in, grab the file. Sorry, Ahmed. Hopefully we weren't like stressing out there. Go into your go into your VDF class or Graph Design Fundamentals, or so. Oh my goodness, that's not the right class. Vector Fundamentals, right? As mentioned, I created a folder here. Just called it out as assignments or weekly assignments. I have my week 1 exercise, right? And then I have my original supporting files, right? And this actually is demo called out here, right? And then we also have another one, right? Which is gonna be the actual handed in. So this is more of a, let's give it a try together. And then we can do what the heck. We'll see how much time there is. And we'll do this demo together. As mentioned, I wanna just do a huge overview again of Illustrator if we haven't been in it for a while. Go over, yeah, all of that fun stuff. So that'll be the demo file. As mentioned, let's have a look at the time. We're at 10:45, so we have an hour and a bit. I promise, though, if we do run out of time for this one, we won't for the rest, okay? It's just because we had to cover off Canvas, all this fun stuff. That being said, I know you have type after this at 1 o'clock, so you guys are going to be exhausted probably, and I apologize. I did set this up for a 4-hour Zoom. That being said, I don't expect you to be here, and I don't think it's fair that I keep going, but maybe I can make it optional. The in-class assignment, you guys can, of course, go back and watch this video as well to help you through it as well. Sound good? Anyway, that being said, let's just call this out as in-class demo for now. Awesome. Okay, we're going inches, right? We want 8.5 by 11, yeah? You guys can find that there. You can also probably find it here in letter. The only problem with you use the print settings, it typically defaults to points, I find is kind of irritating. And that's okay. We just changed this back to inches, right? 8.5, 11, right? We can do our document, right? Portrait, landscape, artboards we looked at last semester. We have bleed on. Don't need bleed for this assignment particularly, but guess what? I always add it because why not? It can't hurt to have bleed on there regardless. Who knows? You may turn this into something that you want bleed for, okay? And then we've got CMYK color, fantastic. So if you can't see it, guys, go into your advanced options down here and click. Make sure we are in CMYK color. Make sure we are on high, yeah? And then if you want to go into more settings, you can check this out. But at the end of the day, I think we're golden with what we have here. Remember, there is a preview, ability to preview it. I just did the update and it looks like, are you kidding me? I updated yesterday and it looks like they got rid of my preview. Thank you, Illustrator. I love updates. And maybe you guys have the preview box there and maybe I'm missing it. They put it somewhere else. Don't even care. Moving on. Oh my goodness. I love updates. Okay. So hit okay. Sorry. Optimism. So here we go. Yeah. We've got our Illustrator document open, 8.5, 11. Beautiful. We've got our bleed on. We've got our tools. Yeah. So let's start here. You ready? Like we usually do. Window, workspace. Yeah. And I want you guys to go into, notice I have a bunch of CAB ones, I think, because we did make some revisions to the CAB workspace as we went through last semester. If you don't have one of these built in, no stress. You could probably, you'll get away, you'll get by, even with like the Essentials Classic is probably a solid one to use, right? And you can do that and just break it down there, right? So Essentials Classic is nice. And you can, of course, reset Essentials Classic. There we go. Actually, this is a pretty good one overall. You can use that, all right? That being said, I'm gonna kind of break panels off as we need them. So I'm gonna go into my CAB class at 2020, since that was you guys, okay? And then I'm gonna workspace reset. Hey, there we go. This is what I'm used to. And maybe you guys are as well, right? Few things to call out as we know. Layers, huge. Color, huge. right? Swatches, amazing. Stroke, gradient, alignment, pathfinder. All right, it's huge. Good, we're getting there. Stroke. Properties, libraries. Libraries, amazing. We didn't really look at that too much. If you want to, though, a fantastic resource ability to kind of pull elements from individual documents back and forth. Again, not going to get into that. It's more, you know, it is beautiful, though, if you guys want to read up or watch videos on that. We'll get there next semester together. So rulers, guides, artboards, properties. Love this panel. Fairly new as of a year or so ago. And basically a one-stop shop, right? And we know that is there in Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign. Yeah, fantastic. If you don't, control. So go up to window, make sure control is on. Yeah, we want to make sure that we have the ability not only to have it to our side here, but we also have it above. And this is your control, okay? You guys can also access your workspaces right here as a quick, okay? Again, on all programs, it's the same. Beautiful. Where do you want to start, everyone? So let's do this. You ready? We know arrows. Yeah, amazing. Direct, black, and then direct selection. We have our, right, we have our magic wand tool, right? So similar to Photoshop in that it selects similar items, okay? And we can look at that in the coming weeks. Maybe not today, but it's all good. We've got our pen tool, right? So do this with me. Before we begin, hit the P, literally the P key. Awesome. So short key, right, for pen. So we never need to go up to the pencil anymore, the pen anymore. We know we hit the P key and we're golden, right? We got it. You also have all of these guys, add and remove and convert. You don't need any of these, right? We know that we don't need any of these because we can do this. Do this with me, everyone. Click, 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 connect the dots, yeah? Ooh, we've got this awesome, there we go. And we'll even create a bend in this one. There we go. Okay, there we go. We got this awesome shape that we just made. Okay, first off, remember we always close the path off, right? And that is there, right? Good, we're gonna close it, done. Beautiful. Okay, so you're ready? We know this, command. Go ahead, let's command it. So guys, command pen to arrow. We did this over and over again in CAD and in CAD class. Not so much in GDF, but I'm sure you guys did this also in other classes. This is really neat. We know we did this as well with our corners, right? Whoop. And I'm holding command. That will bring up my white arrow. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. I should have restarted my network. Click, give it a try. Pull out, pull in. Nice. Yeah? Okay. What else do we got? I'm going to take a command Z, as you know, is undo, right? It's command Z, 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 Z. Multiple undos. Doot, doot, doot. If you guys hit command shift Z, that will then redo. So command Z, undo. Command shift Z, redo. Cool?
Sir.
Yes.
Better if you plug your charger in. You're at like 10%.
Yeah, it's all good. Thank you, bud.
You're welcome.
Sorry, I didn't mean to stress you out. I got it. My cord's right here. There we go. I'm not sure if that brightened it up for you, but okay. So command, yeah, white arrow. Check this out. If I hit the black arrow, then I go down to my type tool and hit command. Check out what arrow comes up. They actually had this, it's working now again, but they had this changed a little bit in the last version. But now we're back to a black arrow. So what I mean by that is if we go into the white arrow, then we're in the type tool. Check it out. Notice command, command, command. It goes type tool into my white arrow. If we wanted, say, our black arrow, then type tool, command, hey, check it out. So it remembers the last arrow instance that we were on when I hit command. Just kind of an FYI. Sound good? Neat. Anyway, you guys are like, yeah, neat. Okay. Moving on. Okay. So back to the pen. Let's try this. P. Amazing. And as mentioned, we have these guys, add, delete, and convert. We don't need these guys. The reason we don't need them is we know if we want to add a node at any time, hover over top of a line segment, like so. Plus, right? Boom. Good. Hit command with me. white arrow, click, drag. Hey, cool. So now we know we can not only add a node, but we can, of course, I'm holding command right now, everyone. So remember, we don't want to go into our white arrow at any time or black arrow at any time. We always just hit command, right? We always hit spacebar to do that. Woo, yeah. So again, this is like, you know, CAB 101, right? Spacebar, command, zoom in. Amazing. Spacebar, command, zoom out if you just go whoop and push the other way. I have my scrubby zoom off, and I mentioned this 100 times last semester. I do my command, spacebar command option to zoom out. You guys probably don't need to and use your cool animation zoom, and that's totally fine. I typically don't. I just like to have my zoom in like that. Marquee select zoom, right? Spacebar, command, whoop, zoom in. Command 0, full screen, right? Nice. Okay, so command select on that object, right? Amazing. Check this out. This is really neat. This actually was on one of the tips and tricks there. I think we may have covered this one off though. If you hit the shift key and hit the X button, this is a beautiful thing. This is your swap back and forth, and you'll notice it changes here, shift X. And all I do is holding shift down, X, 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 right? So I can bring forward my fill, bring forward my stroke, right? Kind of cool. If you hit the X key, whoop, and this is the same as in Photoshop, right? X key will swap fill to stroke. So, I mean, the benefit to doing this, another awesome short key that we can get maybe they'll used to is the question mark. Yeah? You guys are like, oh my goodness, all these short keys. I know, but I'm going to continue to go over them. We'll keep using them. But say 9 point, I just made that a 9-point stroke, right? You don't need to do that, but check this out. You can increase your stroke size if you'd like, or not, or you can zoom in and see your stroke size. Okay, there we go. Hit the question mark as mentioned. Awesome. Question mark is remove, or I guess it's forward bracket or whatever that is. Yeah. So give that a try. Command Z bracket or forward slash or whatever slash that is. Question mark, yeah? Cool. And then I'm Command Z to bring it back. So the X key, guys, this is where we can do this. X, bring fill forward, then question mark. See that? Cool. So, or then I can do X, question mark. So now I have 0 fill, 0 stroke, all with the matter of just hitting the X key and the question mark or the bracket. I'm going to do a Command Z, just take a step back, okay? Awesome. I'm going to do spacebar command zoom out or spacebar command option zoom out, depending on what you have going on there, okay? Wicked. So we've got this shape. We've added a node as mentioned, and that was make sure that you're on the shape, command click, okay? We know command Y. We're going to utilize the command Y, of course, because this is your wireframe or outline mode, right? Really important. Now this allows us, and we're going to look at doing that template file like we did with the sad robot, right? And the skate logo, etc. So we're going to go here and try this, minus a node, right? Minus a node, minus a node. Nice and easy, yeah? Cool. So we're going to go here, right? And minus a node. Fantastic. If you guys click add a node, good. Try this. Remember with the pen tool, we worked on it quite extensively last semester, option key. So go on to any of your nodes and hold the option key down. This is your anchor point tool, yeah? It also is a convert point tool, meaning if I click and do this, you can then click, drag, hold down, and you can convert. Notice how what I did there was I converted both corners all in one step. So option, click, drag. Whoop. If you happen to have already had, anyway, it's all good. So curve, there we go. And give that a try. All we're doing is really simple shape, right? Practice adding a node, command, white arrow, click, move. Hey, all right. Now we got an avocado or something. I don't know what do we got here, right? And then again, remove. We can add at any time. You'll notice by adding a node when you already had a curved line, check it out, it actually will give you that bend, which is kind of nice. Try this. Remember we did the convert or the cusp option. Once again, click, drag. Oh yeah. And this is how we get that. Look at that Nike logo. Isn't that awesome? That's okay, maybe not so much, right? So we can remove, we can select, move around, we can go in. I'm gonna hold option down. Not only can we convert to curve by holding option, but hold down option, click on the node, boop. Hey, now we're getting to Nike. Yeah, cool. And so what that does is it goes from a curved line option, click, to a pointed or a non-curve, yeah? Cool. And so we can go in and just give that a try. We're just playing around, right? That's always fun to do. There we go. Woo. Move it, move it. Command Y, because you might be like, where'd my fill go? Because I had a fill on and it disappeared. Remember, Command Y. I'm going to constantly say Command Y because we want to be able to see underneath, which we're going to get to in a second. And you guys are familiar with that because we did that with, as mentioned, the SAT robot, etc. All right. Curvature tool, I don't know. Okay. It's here. I don't use it. It's all good. Play around with these things, guys. I'm just doing a really quick review for you guys. We're going to be, of course, using the type tool. Click, type. Yeah, nice and easy. Please don't do this. Click and drag. This is your type box, right? We do that in InDesign, not so much in Illustrator. It doesn't mean you don't do it. If you're doing a trifold or something of that nature that does have editorial copy, for sure you're going to do that, right? But for our cases, and 90% of the time, we don't want to create a text box. And we know the reason for that is because the text boxes are a little irritating to deal with when you have to do a rotation. See that? So when I do a rotation and I've made a text box, it actually kind of neat though, isn't it? It does give you an ability to create really fun. And you guys maybe did this with Mike, right? Where you played around with the text boxes and how you can create shapes. I saw some of your works there. Amazing job on the type exercise, right? So you guys are really familiar with that stuff. And the reason, yes, it's good for some things, but the majority of the time we just want to go type tool, click, awesome. Now that we've done that, everyone, command. Remember, the command will also allow you to bring up your arrow, but it will also bring up your pulleys, right? Or your transform. If you find that these tools or these transform pulleys aren't there, you can find them here in your view, and it's in your edges, I believe. No, right here, bounding box. So if you accidentally hit Shift, Command B, I'm not sure, it's possible, right? Because actually send to back is Command Shift bracket, right? So you can't possibly turn that off. By turning it off though, check it out. I'm holding my command button and those that thing has disappeared. And you're gonna go like, Mitch, you told me that there was a freaking bounding box, it's not there. So if you can't see it, it's just because your bounding box needs to be shown, okay? There we go. That's really important, isn't it? Because now we can do command, click, and enlarge. Do not do this, right? The typography people will get and come in and arrest you. Click shift, always shift, yes? With copy and with image. There's like 99% of the time you're gonna do that. Cool. And that's our type tool. We'll come back to that, which isn't the type class. We're going to have you guys had lots of type. There are so many options here for you guys, okay? All the type options are here. Play around with it. Like, what are you going to do? You can't hurt anything. But we can investigate maybe some of this later on. We do definitely get into this in branding, etc. But play around with it. You can do some real fun stuff, but not so much. Again, this is fundamentals, remember? You have line segment tool. I typically don't use many of these things, but they are here. Spiral tool, okay, there you go, spiral. Cool, instant graphic, yeah? Interesting. Again, maybe useful. You're doing maybe a background or something. And anyway, that's there, okay? What else we got here? All right, rectangle, ellipse, all of these fun things. We went through shapes last semester. We can try some of the short keys. If you hit the L key, right, is your circle. If you hit the R key, sorry, not the R, that's rotate. What is it? I don't use the, there we go. L and M, those are the two, right? So our M key, I don't know why M, rectangle. There's no M in rectangle. What's wrong with you? Okay, so M is rectangle, yes. And then we have our, what's the other one? M and I always forget. L, okay. Can we remember those? I don't know. Do you need to? Not so much, it's all good. I typically still go here. But those are some good short keys if you can keep them to memory, M and L, okay? Blob tool, some really neat things here. Paintbrush tool, blob tool. I'm not gonna get into it this semester. But again, yeah, some really, yeah, I don't know, maybe if we have added time, we may get into some of these things. Pencil tool, eraser tool is really neat. Sorry, there's the eraser tool. What else we got? Join, this is path eraser tool, interesting. There's so many tools going on here. Reflect is really great. We will utilize that this semester for sure. Rotate, of course, is there. Reshape tool is interesting. And then we've got shear and scale, right? Scale we do all the time, right? Because that's just our command button, scale, right? Up and down, nice. And then we got all these like warps and so on. You can play, hey, mess around, right? Woo, twirl, woo, yeah, right. Woo, all right, look at that. We got some twirls, right? And then you got, right, you got an interesting shape all within seconds. And then we go maybe pucker, bloat, oh yeah, what the heck's going on here? I don't know, mess around. Again, it's all about just playing in the program, right? Free transform tool, all right, good. And then this actually is a really neat one. Won't get into it this semester. You guys can, if you want to, again, go into these things more deeply. Shape builder tool we will look at. Okay, this is an amazing tool. Your instant pathfinder, right, is great. Grid or perspective, we'll use this next semester, not this one. What else we got? If you accidentally do this though, this is irritating, and you may have accidentally done that. And that's Command-Shift-I. And when we get into this program, we're gonna do Command-Shift, hard bracket left and right all the time, right? My bring forward, bring back. So like, right, Command-Shift, hard bracket left, hard bracket right. So try that with me, everyone. If you, again, this is just general navigation, but draw a few shapes. Also check this out. Remember in Illustrator, the last thing that you draw or instance that you have, it remembers. So notice how I just did a blue with black. It remembers that that was the last thing I did. If I change my fill color, I then hit, check this out. I'm gonna hit X. That brought my stroke forward. I'm gonna change it now to blue, maybe dark blue, right? Cool. Now, if I make another shape, awesome. Check out how it takes on the last instance that we just had, which is really handy. And remember, if we're doing like a portrait or something and we're like getting into the fine details and you just happen to be working on hair and then you wanna come back and you wanna start working on the face, you can just click on a part of the face, start drawing, and then you're right back to the same color, right back to the same style. Cool, eh? So anyway, just kind of we'll be doing these lectures, we'll be doing these labs together, and I'm hoping this stuff will become really second nature. Okay, I mean, maybe not second nature, but I'm hoping we'll, you know, we only get better by practicing. So that was that. What else we got here? Oh my God, warp tool. These are so much fun, but again, can be a little, yeah, won't get into these ones. But yes, the warp tool is pretty awesome. There's some neat things. We looked at our gradient tool last semester as well, right? So the gradient tool, I said gradient, not stroke. I love how everything's glitching out. I do apologize, everyone. Right, so our gradient tool is here. And if you click on an object, click on the grade. Awesome, note, we now have that. If you need to have the tool on now, and hopefully we're just kind of playing around with me right now. And you do this, click, drag. It's kind of neat. Notice how it actually centers the line, right? It makes it to 40, like it kind of snaps it to the center of the object, which is kind of neat. Now, if we grab this point, we can drag it out and that will extend. Notice how that just makes it nice and big. Remember last semester, I said, if you're going to use gradients, just do it and be cautious about it. We don't want to overgrade things, but notice how we can, of course, rotate it this way. I don't typically do a gradient in this regard. I just manually like to click and drag, right? Click and drag, up and down, click, drag, click. You guys get the idea. We went over these guys, right? The ability to do your, that. This is a new one, really neat. You can actually add in functionality and add in multiple grade points. Again, I'm going way past where I'm supposed to go in this lecture. I apologize, but we're here, so I'm just showing it to you. So you can do some real neat realism with this one, your multi-point or free-form gradient, which is kind of neat. Again, we're not doing objects so much, just general, but we'll get there. We'll be hitting up many of these tools in the coming weeks, but we're just really brief. The blending is really neat. Again, we may look at that in the coming weeks. Paint tool, spray can, look at all of these different things. Holy heck, so many of them. I don't use pretty much any of these, just so you know. It's all good. I'm sure there's benefit to some workflows and maybe they utilize this stuff, but not so much. We have all these graphs, okay. We have artboard, right? Nice, and we know we can size an artboard up and down nice and quickly, right? Size of our document. You also know within your artboard, you can change it to legal, to tabloid, to anything for your iPad. There we go. There's an iPad screen, right? iPhone X, cool. You can go in, make it landscape. Oh, look at the iPhone X. Holy, that's long and narrow, isn't it? Anybody got an iPhone X? iPad Retina, okay? So that being said, we want letter, good, right? And we're golden. Holy moly. I'm gonna go in and I'm just gonna reset my workspace, reset tab. Come on, man. Everything is a mess today. I promise it should be better next time we meet. What are you doing, Illustrator? There it is. Okay. Fantastic. So where are we at here? That's about where we start. That's about 30 minutes of just general overview on the tools, right? A few more here, slice and so on. The hand we never use because that's our space bar, right? Good. And then of course, zoom we never use because spacebar command. Amazing. Good. Now, what do we want to do? What do we want to do? So many fun things, right? We've got our swatches, which are here and that we looked at. I just grabbed and pulled and dragged out. So you have all these things, these swatches available to you. Remember, these can be found here within swatches. If you're missing any of these items, if there are a few items that I would highly recommend you get so that we can just kind of work together, few that you're really gonna or absolutely need, links is gonna be one of them, okay? So make sure that links are open. You'll notice I do have mine open. They're here nested with my layers and artboards, okay? And we'll get there, but we might as well have a look, right? That is one of them that we're gonna need. Layers, we definitely need, right? Color, of course, we're gonna need. Brushes, not so much. Stroke width and size. So this is a pretty solid one. But if you're missing anything, guys, that everyone that you see here, don't worry about it. Like, just go in here. Let me know if you're missing something. Like, again, unmute yourself and yell at me and say, Mitch, I really have no idea what's going on. Can you help me find this? And I'll do my best. If you, again, can watch this video at any time, go back. And yeah, we'll be golden, okay? So swatches, sorry. There we go. We got a bunch of swatches here, groups and grays and CMYKs and brights and so on, which is awesome. You can change your view, of course, within your swatches. That's kind of a nice view. I like that one. It's just your standard, right? We can grab a tab and move our tabs in and out, as you know, and how we built our workspace last semester, right? We have our alignment function, pretty straightforward. We're going to be utilizing that a little bit today. Pathfinder, always a great tool. As mentioned, the shape builder tool also, your on the fly Pathfinder, which is amazing. Okay, one thing here, guys, sorry everyone, grab your line and let's grab our line, maybe bring that out. I'd like you to grab your layers, bring that out. I'd like you to grab your links. Let's bring that out, maybe nest that here with our layers. I want my color, okay, and maybe I'm gonna put my color down here. Actually, yeah, maybe color there, right? And then brushes, not so much. Symbols, swatches, yeah, sure, swatches, why not? I'll put that there. So all I'm doing is I'm quickly getting like just one that we can utilize for today, right? Why not? Good practice, okay? Are we gonna use gradient today? No. Pathfinder, possibly. I don't think we may not use Pathfinder, but what the heck. Properties is good. And then what we can do is I might minimize that guy, right? And then maybe have this one kind of over here. Anyway, you guys are like, okay. And that was really just an exercise in utilizing your tabs or a refresher. We haven't done this maybe for a few weeks, right? And not only that, maybe we haven't done, there we go, that's better. Maybe we haven't done, yeah, right? Maybe, I don't know. Maybe we've been in the programs like nonstop, but this is what we're gonna need for today. Sound good? Okie dokie. Let's see. We have a, what else we got? What else we got? Command Shift P. Remember that one? That was our place, right? So Command Shift P is our place, or you can do File Place, right? Or another way that you can do it, remember, is we can go in. So Command Shift P allows you to place, and you can just navigate and find the file. Command Shift P. You guys can go navigate to VDF, assignments, in-class exercise, original supporting, and you guys are like, oh my goodness, that's a lot of folders. I know, but we want to stay organized, right? And I mentioned about the dockets and the work orders, right? Make sure things are in their proper place. We can then place. So that was one way to do it, right? And then you get this little guy here and you click on it and then we can drop it in. Yay, yeah? So this is really important. And you'll notice that scaling the PDF or scaling this JPEG can result in a 0%. So please make sure that we don't scale the JPEG in any way, okay? Or PNG. I want you to leave it exactly as is, okay? So that being said, Command Shift P is place. You can also do a place this way. Click, drag and drop. See that? And in. However you do it, just don't do this. Don't go here and do that, okay? Sound good? Or try not to do this because document size is part of the, important as well. Try not to do this, dragging, sorry, I dragged that out of my, there we go. If you go here and drag and drop and don't do that, because what you have essentially done is made a document the size of the JPEG. So you're no longer at 8.5, 11, right? And you can tell what size it is just by clicking on the artboard tool quick. And, oh shit, I lied to you, sorry. How do you like them apples? Sorry. So it happens to be letter, so that's all good. But in some instances, you're gonna get a JPEG, right? And it may not be the proper size. So what I'm getting at is if you do drag and drop it in, and it doesn't happen to be letter. Oh, look at that. I think it just happened to remember my last document setting. Isn't that it? That's a new one, guys, I promise. That's cool. I like that, right? So that actually remembered the last document apparently that I had on there. This is new, guys, I promise. Wicked. I guess that's okay. So I don't need to save that one regardless. I'm going to go back in to my original. So I just shut that down. That was the one I dragged and dropped and said, don't do that. But hey, apparently it's all good. As of last night when I did my update, things change. Amazing. And these are things you find out during Zooms. I love it. So there we go. Okay. We have a JPEG placed. Oh, man, that was fun, eh? So first off, what I want you guys to do is go in and I want you to embed the file. So this is part of the rubric, okay? And I'm gonna wanna see that you guys do this. I'm gonna get you guys to upload the AI file for this assignment. Not this one, this is the demo in class, but the actual assignment that you need to do, okay? So I want to embed, there we go. So we've embedded it, yeah? Awesome. Now embedding, you're like, well, what the heck? Why? What are you doing that for? Well, the reason we embed it is if you happen to accidentally move this demo JPEG somewhere, say I did that, and it wasn't embedded, what's gonna happen is it's going to give you an error. See this? What happens by unembedding, it's telling me it wants to find where that file is, just like in InDesign. Remember we had links? So it wants to tell me where is that, if you're gonna unembed it, where is it? It needs to be linked. So that's an important thing to know. And the reason I like to embed it is number one, just ease of use and making sure that my sketch stays within the file. So we looked at that last semester quite a bit as well, okay? So for now, we're going to embed it. Next semester, we're going to look at package. There's an actual package option, just like in InDesign in Illustrator, which is kind of neat. And we'll work with that for like our spec guides and so on, but that's coming down the road. So for now, I'd like to see that, and you'll be able to tell that it's embedded with this little icon here, okay? Awesome. Now, next thing that we did. Ready? Everyone's okay? We're all going okay for you? Double click on layer 1. Oh, shoot, don't do that yet. Click on the image and let's just move it around. Woo, moving it around. Don't scale it, but just move it around. Yeah, good. Align. I brought this out in the forefront, right? Really amazing tool. Oh, the alignment function is so friggin' awesome. So many things we can do. Distribute, align, and so on. Well, really, align and distribute, really the things that it does. But check this out. We did, I think, look at align to selection, align to artboard, maybe not, but this is really cool because what that allows me to now do is if you select on this JPEG, wherever that image happens to lie, right? I can then grab it, make sure that align to, so I'm gonna leave that up for a sec, not align to selection, but I want to align to artboard. Yeah, cool. And then what I can do is center and center, right? Sorry, center and center. There we go. I apologize. There we go. That was distribute, right? How cool is that? So if we had something like this, right, where we had a bunch of things, there we go. I happen to have just empty boxes. Good job, Mitch. Check this out. Go ahead and make a box, any boxes, right? And we'll fill it in yellow. And maybe we'll give it a stroke of black. I don't know, right? And then maybe we'll go in here and we'll kick up our stroke, right? Now remember, our stroke is here. It's also found in your properties panel, right? So go ahead, click on the stroke and hit the up arrow, right? Cool, check it out. As I'm hitting the up and down arrow, it allows you to instantly check out this poor guy, right? He's getting lost here, okay? So that being said, if you need to get back to square one, if you're looking at this like I have zero fill and zero stroke, or I have something like this, if you hit the D key, it will get you back to the default, okay? So if I click that and hit D, default, click D, click D, click D, check it out. I thought I was able to do it with a mass selection, but apparently not, right? So you can't select both and hit D. Oh, there it is. It didn't want to work for me. There we go, D key. So back to white fill, black stroke. So that can be helpful, just that click of the D key. If you get confused and you're like, what the heck, right? Especially if you have no fill and no stroke and you can't figure out what the heck's going on, the D key can be really handy because you might be going here and like, why is everything missing? And then D, back at it. Of course, one of the other options might be Command Y, which is our preview mode, right? And we looked at Command Y quite a bit last semester, and we're going to continue to do that today. Okay, let's rock and roll. Command Y, sorry, back at it. Command, click on that JPEG, move around, and let's try to center it one more time. I've just been messing around, moving things around. There we go. All right, everybody. So we know we can show and hide our layer right here, right? If you double click on layer 1, and let's do this, double click on it. We can call it out as template, right? Light blue, sure, this just tells you what guide it may take precedent over, which can be really great because think about if we have a red guide. Check it out, we've got red lines. This would not be optimal, right? Because when I'm drawing, I'm gonna have a red guideline on top of red and it gets really frustrating. So this is a really great thing to do if you're, if you might find that the colors that the guide is interfering with the actual artwork that you might be working on. Sound good? So in this case, I'll leave it at light blue. That's a good color. Template, awesome. So here's where we want to look because the template, as we did last semester a few times, it allows us to draw underneath our sketch or whatever it may be using our Command Y, Command Y, Command Y. So I'm going to go ahead and hit OK. Now you'll also notice there are a few things that happen, right? Everything gets grayed out, and then dim images too, right? Also happens. At the end of the day, it's up to you. So you may want to work at 100% color. And in this case, maybe I will. I just changed it from 50 to 100. But really the dimming is kind of like, I feel it's almost like a tracing paper, you know, like you go over and it really is kind of how it's emulating. So it's up to you, whatever you're comfortable with. I might just turn it off. There we go. Woo doggy. So that's done. All right. Next thing, create a new layer. All right. And we're going to go in and we're going to call this out as vector shapes. Okay. Amazing. So we now have a vector shapes layer. We've got our template layer. Now the core purpose, again, to do that template layer, here we go. I've got all my squares that I just made, right? Maybe try the M tool or the, what is it? Shoot, I'm just trying to practice it too. I never use these ones because I always go here. The L tool, yeah, there we go, right? So there we go, we got a logo going on. Command Y, awesome. Again, this is where the benefit of that Command Y comes in and why that template's important, okay? So I'm gonna do a Command A, if you guys wanna do that with me. Select all and hit the delete key. Nice. So now we're back to square one, right? You'll notice again, by making a template, check it out, it will lock it, right? So if you don't create that vector layer and you try to do anything, no smoking, yeah? So it's gonna tell you, you can't do that. And you're like, oh man, come on. And you're gonna go, what the heck? Oh yeah, that's right. I gotta do that first. Then we're good to go, okay? So I'm just gonna take a step back. There we go. All right. What else we got, everybody? You ready to get into it? I know I can hear you all screaming, yay, or oh my God, let this be done. So we got that. You're ready? P tool, yeah? And I'm going to, what the heck is going on here? There it is. Oh, glitchy. Okay, so P tool, right? P, hit the P button. There we go. You're ready? We did this. We got this. Actually, you know what? I'll stop it there. That was kind of a review, okay? And then I'll come back, and then the next video will be, look at this, I'm actually remembering. The next video will be the